The film opens at a winery in Seattle, where a young couple, Patrick and Adeline, share a romantic moment. Patrick surprises Adeline by proposing, and she happily accepts. However, Patrick receives a call from his photographer, Nico, who informs him that he missed capturing the proposal. Frustrated, Patrick prepares to reenact the moment. While trying to get the perfect shot, Nico is suddenly taken out by a masked slayer known as Hard Eyes. Unaware of the danger, Patrick and Adeline continue their celebration. The joy quickly turns into horror when Patrick answers a call during the event, only for the slayer to shoot an arrow through his head. Terrified, Adeline screams and runs for her life. She narrowly escapes several arrows and finds a temporary hiding spot. Her brief safety is shattered when she receives a call from Hard Eyes. In anger, she yells at him, unknowingly revealing her location. The slayer shoots an arrow into her foot, wounding her. Limping, she runs into the facility, where Hard Eyes takes out a security guard. Desperately searching for refuge, Adeline hides again, but this proves to be a fatal mistake. Hard Eyes finds her and locks her inside a massive press machine, crushing her to oblivion. Weeks later, news of the Hard Eyes slaughter spreads like wildfire. Authorities warn citizens to be cautious, as the slayer, notorious for targeting couples on Valentine's Day, has previously terrorized cities like Boston. Meanwhile, at a nearby coffee shop, Allie McCabe, an ad designer, is grabbing coffee with her co-worker and best friend, Monica. Just as they're about to pick up their order and leave, Allie meets a charming young stranger named Jay Simmons. They share a brief conversation about the coincidence of ordering the same coffee. However, things quickly turn awkward when they accidentally bump heads, twice, resulting in Allie unintentionally giving Jay a bloody nose. Embarrassed by the mishaps, she rushes off to work. As Allie leaves, Jay hears news reports about the slayer known as Hard Eyes. The head of the police department issues a warning, urging couples planning to celebrate Valentine's Day to stay home. Back at the office, Allie and Monica face criticism from their boss, Crystal Kane, over Allie's pitch for a perfume ad. The campaign, featuring famously doomed couples like Romeo and Juliet, is deemed highly inappropriate, given the recent Hard Eyes body counts. The ad is quickly slammed on social media for its poor timing and bad taste. In an unexpected twist, Crystal introduces Jay, revealed to be the company's newest hire, to help salvage the project. Meanwhile, the city remains on high alert. Detectives Zeke Hobbs and Janine Shaw arrive at the winery to investigate the tragedy of Patrick and Adeline. They discover a wedding ring and the massive press machine used to take out Adeline. Shaw suggests that Hard Eyes is not just a slayer, but someone carrying out twisted fantasies in the way he executes his victims. On the other hand, Allie confronts her boss, Crystal, for publicly embarrassing her in front of the entire team. After expressing her frustration, she takes a moment alone to clear her head. Her solitude is interrupted when Jay approaches, inviting her to dinner, insisting it's strictly for work. After some thought, Allie agrees. Later, Monica takes Allie shopping for new clothes. Over lunch, they discuss Allie's habit of checking her ex-boyfriend's social media. Monica finds it odd, but Allie claims she's just surprised he moved on so quickly. She also mentions her upcoming dinner with Jay, which excites Monica enough to help her pick out a new outfit. That evening, Allie arrives at the restaurant, where security scans her for weapons, a precaution against the Hard Eyes slayer. Jay soon joins her, and they chat about love. Jay admits he believes in finding the one, while Allie remains cynical after her breakup, seeing constant reminders of her ex, Colin, with his new girlfriend, Sienna. Their conversation grows tense, eventually ruining the mood and prompting Jay to leave. Regretting her harshness, Allie runs after him to apologize and impulsively kisses him when she spots Colin and Sienna nearby. Pretending she and Jay are a couple, she plays along as Colin and Sienna mention they were supposed to have a double date with Patrick and Adeline, unaware of their tragic fate. After dinner, Allie and Jay head home in a rideshare. At her apartment, Allie realizes she's lost her keys. Motivated by the driver's earlier encouragement for him to pursue Allie, Jay offers to help. He breaks a window to gain entry, but cuts his hand in the process. Allie brings him inside to treat the wound, and as they talk, tension builds between them. While tidying up, Allie opens her closet only to find Hard Eyes hiding inside. The slayer lunges at her, but Jay intervenes, nearly getting attacked. Acting fast, Allie smashes a lamp over the slayer's head, giving them a chance to escape. They lock the door behind them, but Hard Eyes doesn't relent, jamming his knife through the door. Outside, the driver who brought them home meets a grim fate as Hard Eyes strikes again. Immediately, Allie rushes to explain that she and Jay aren't a couple, hoping to dissuade Hard Eyes since he targets couples. Unmoved, the slayer continues his pursuit. Allie and Jay flee toward a park, but Hard Eyes catches up and knocks Jay unconscious. Allie escapes to a carousel but is soon cornered. Just as things look grim, she kicks Hard Eyes away and runs until the police arrive. Detective Hobbs announces that Hard Eyes has been captured. Relieved, Allie finds Jay in the back of a police car, but to her shock, Hobbs and Detective Shaw believe Jay is the slayer. Evidence apparently links him to Hard Eyes, but Allie refuses to believe it. At the station, Jay is questioned about the recent incidents, a process he finds frustrating and absurd. Meanwhile, Allie meets David, an IT guy who recognizes her from Bumble, and awkwardly flirts with her despite the circumstances. She brushes him off, reminding him she's being chased by a serial slayer. David, unfazed, mentions they should celebrate now that Hard Eyes is caught. Searching for help, Allie tries to find the station clerk but comes up empty. On edge, she grabs an American flagpole to arm herself. Shaw and the clerk soon arrive, prompting the clerk to take the flag away. As Shaw begins a conversation with Allie, the station lights suddenly go out. Shaw leaves to investigate, while nearby, the clerk is gruesomely taken out by Hard Eyes using the very same flagpole. Panic ensues. Ally runs as Hard Eyes, capable of seeing in the dark, hunts them down. The detectives confront him, but Shaw is knocked unconscious, and Hobbs is brutally slaughtered with a machete. Hard Eyes turns his attention to Jay, but Allie arrives just in time to save him, freeing him from his restraints. As they flee outside, a vehicle speeds toward Allie, but Jay pushes her out of harm's way. The chase leads them to a park filled with couples celebrating Valentine's Day. Hard Eyes slay a young man to get closer to them. Seeking refuge, Allie and Jay hide in a van, occupied by an eccentric couple who mistake the situation for a bizarre roleplay scenario. Amid the chaos, Allie opens up to Jay about her parents' happy marriage that crumbled after her father's demise. She apologizes for abandoning him earlier. Their conversation is cut short as the couple in the back seat becomes loud, drawing Hard Eye's attention. He brutally slays them with a tire iron, forcing Allie and Jay to run again. Chaos erupts as Hard Eyes massacre more people, sending everyone into a panic. Realizing he won't stop until they're lifeless, Allie and Jay decide to fight back. Armed with the tire iron, they face off against the Slayer in an intense battle. Allie lands a blow to his head with a propane tank, but Hard Eyes retaliates, grabbing her by the neck. Jay intervenes, attacking him with a machete. With the threat seemingly over, Allie vomits on Hard Eyes' corpse, overwhelmed by the blood. Jay removes the mask, revealing the Slayer to be a random man named Eli, someone neither of them recognizes. Moments later, medics arrive to treat Allie and Jay's injuries. Before leaving, Jay gives Allie his number, suggesting she call if she wants to talk. Detective Shaw offers Jay a ride to the airport for a friend's wedding, while Allie heads home. Feeling conflicted, she calls Monica and confesses that she regrets how things ended with Jay, admitting she started to develop feelings for him. Encouraged by Monica to seize the moment, Allie rushes to the airport to find him. At the terminal, she calls out Jay's name but doesn't see him. Suddenly, her phone rings. It's an unknown number. To her horror, the caller is the real Hard Eyes, very much alive, claiming to have kidnapped Jay. He orders Allie to meet them at a nearby chapel or Jay won't live. Upon arriving at the chapel, Allie discovers Jay bound and confronted by Hard Eyes. In a shocking twist, Hard Eyes reveals himself to be David, the IT guy she met earlier. Even worse, his accomplice is none other than Detective Shaw. The duo, a twisted couple, confesses to having a sick obsession with hunting and slaying couples. Eli, the man they previously unmasked, was just a fanboy, eager to be part of the carnage. David and Shaw recount the night's events, revealing that David slaughtered the driver, while Eli was the one hiding in Allie's closet. Shaw forces Allie to pick up a gun with a single bullet, demanding she choose between slaying herself or Jay. Tearfully, Allie tells Jay she truly developed feelings for him. In a calculated move, she shoots Jay in the shoulder, allowing the bullet to pass through and hit Shaw in the stomach. Enraged, David attacks them as they attempt to flee. He manages to catch Jay, but Jay surprises him with a hidden weapon, shooting an arrow into David's right eye. Screaming, David collapses into a cluster of candles, engulfing himself in flames. Meanwhile, Shaw, still alive, launches a final assault on Allie. In a desperate struggle, Allie grabs a metal straw and attacks Shaw in the neck. Pushing her toward the St. Valentine statue, Allie impales her on the sword, ending her in a gruesome fashion. David, barely clinging to life, lunges at them one last time, but Jay fires an arrow into his head, finishing him off for good. 1 year later, Allie and Jay became a couple and collaborated on the company's most successful campaign. Returning to the same drive-in where they once fought Hard Eyes, Jay asks Allie if she'd like to move in with him. Smiling, Allie surprises him by pulling out a ring and proposing instead. Jay happily accepts, and they share a kiss as the movie draws to a close.